Hello, good evening. It's a little 11 p.m. Atlantic time, Friday, June 23rd. Clear skies. It's about 20 degrees Celsius or 70 Fahrenheit. Sort of a moderate wind from the southwest. About the same conditions as last night. Hi, Alyssa. Chloe, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. I haven't had a chance to look at the sheet yet, so let's go see what has come into the lights. Just going to set the floodlight down. Get around here. First thing I notice is that there's a sphinx moth in the same place as our one-eyed sphinx has been the last 2 nights. Exactly the same place. Oh, and I think I see a fish fly. Let's take a look at the fish fly here. Alyssa, I asked you earlier a few nights ago if you were familiar with fish flies, and you said that you called them mayflies. Well, mayflies are often called fish flies by sort of lay people and fishermen, but there is actually a group of insects called fish flies, and they're huge. And there's one right here. Sorry, connection issues again. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this true fish fly. These things spend most of their lives in the water as larvae, and sorry, I don't know what's causing the connection problems, but we did disconnect again and we seem to be back. So remember, those strips of cloth are a little less than ½ an inch wide. They do have a really beautiful pattern with the antenna. And there are at least a couple of species here in New Brunswick. One's called the spring fish fly, and there's a summer fish fly. And I don't remember what the differences are. No, it just might help if I turn my ring light on. I just realized I hadn't turned it on. I don't know if it's going to help or not, actually. Shouldn't have said that. You can see it has 4 wings. Well, it's going to fly around a bit now. Let's take a look at the sphinx moth that's here. Oh, this isn't the one-eyed sphinx that normally sits here. This position on the sheet. This is our twin-spotted sphinx moth that we saw last night and the night before. Don't know if he wants to show us his two spots tonight or not. I don't think so. Anyway, I put a link to a photograph of this moth, probably the same individual, taken last night, showing the hindwing with the two eye spots, the twin spots. I put a link to that at the beginning of the chat. You may have noticed it when you came into the stream. This is the Zestia, species of Zestia moth that we saw last night, Xestia. Zestia, you got it, Alyssa, perfect. And I think this species is C. nigrum, C-nigrum. There aren't many insects or organisms of any kind that have hyphen in their scientific names, but C. nigrum is one of the rare examples. Here's Gluphisia. I think this is, pretty sure this is a common Gluphisia, as opposed to the four-spotted, but I'm not positive. It's one of those two, but I think this is common Gluphisia. Down here we have an arched hook tip that we see. Hello, Ravel. Nice to see you. Ravel to expand. Been seeing rosy maple moths. Arched hook tip, H-O-O-K-T-I-P, all one word, arched hook tip. Yeah, Ravel, we get rosy maple moths here most evenings. I don't see one on the sheet at the moment, but any second one could pop in. So arched hook tip. You can see they have a hook, sort of a hook on the tip of their wings. It's one of those nice May beetles in the May beetle family, with the green iridescence on the wing, on the elytra. So many moths and other insects coming and going here on the sheet. I don't know where to go next. But, we'll take a look at this. I think Yeah, this is one we looked at last night. Actually, it's a northern finned prominent. Northern finned prominent. Finned, F-I-N-N-E-D, like a fish fin. Northern finned prominent. That's it. And one's a beautiful dagger moth of some kind. I'm going to have to look this one up. There's a lot of dagger moths. They're all in the genus Acronicta. Oh, well, speaking of mayflies, there's one right there. Mayflies have short and broad wings that are extremely veined. And I think those 3 streamers off the end of their tail is another characteristic of mayflies. This one's got kind of a distinctive wing pattern, so we could probably put a name on it pretty easily, I would think, based on where the dark patches are in the wings. So back to the dagger. I'm thinking it's probably the cottonwood dagger, but I'll check into that later. Cottonwood dagger, that's it. What do we have here? This looks like 4-spotted Gluphisia here. Yeah. They have really distinct pale spots. One in the dark band in the middle of the wing there, and another pale spot up close to the head on each wing. 4-spotted Gluphisia. Yep, that's it. Gluphisia is actually Gluphisia. Gluphisia. It's our May beetle. Same one with the green iridescence on the elytra and the orangish legs. Nice crane fly. Oh. I was going to show you a feature of flies that helps you to know that a particular fly-like insect is actually a true fly. Remind me to show you that next time we see a true fly or a crane fly. All right, let's take a look. Okay, this is our Zestia again, probably Zestia C. nigrum. You know, I'm ignoring, there's so many insects on the sheet tonight. Different midges and midge-like things. Some kind of a fly there, I don't know. Looks like a female midge. Down here is a caddisfly of some kind. Oh, here's a nice one. How about these? This one's called Putnam's looper. Putnam's looper, named after Mr. Putman, P-U-T-M-A-N. So Putman's looper moth. He's a real beauty. Putnam's a looper, that's it. You're good at this, Alyssa. Beauty. There's another or the same mayfly. The same species anyway, probably could be the same individual. Just moved over here. Mayflies tend to come out sometimes in enormous numbers. They emerge from the water in the early part of the summer, sometimes in just millions and millions of them emerge from a pond or a river and will swarm around your lights, or sometimes you see them in towns and cities swarming around bright lights at gas stations and supermarkets and malls. A carpet moth of some kind. I think it's just a very worn, not sure, I think it's a worn, sharp angled carpet moth. What is this little guy? This is one of the midgets. There's a, he's gone. There's a genus of moths called midgets. And we have several species here, and they're all pretty similar. I'm not sure which one that was. Sharp-angled carpet moth. It's probably our white spring moth, one that has a brownish wash on the underside of the forewing along the leading edge. Yeah, you can see the brownish wash there now. Sharp-angled carpet moth. I think this is white banded toothed carpet moth. I think this is a soldier beetle of some kind. That's an aquatic beetle. The insect on the side of the light there is some kind of a caddisfly, some species of caddisfly. Here's a tussock moth. I think that one's called the banded tussock moth. Let's just give them a chance to settle down. This is one we saw last night. It's I think the name is large maple leaf roller. Banded tussock moth, yep, that's it. Oh, here's an owlet moth. I think this one is called intermediate hooded owlet. Intermediate hooded owlet. It's quite a good sized moth. Yeah, it does superficially look like a sphinx moth. You're right, Alyssa. We have about 6 species of hooded owlet in New Brunswick. They're all pretty similar, but I'm quite sure this one is the intermediate hooded owlet. Take a look on the side of the sheet here. Oh, here's a fern moth. This one's really beautiful too, although I'm not getting a lot of light on it, but it's called the silver spotted fern moth. And the caterpillars do feed on fern. I'm not sure which species of fern. Ooh! Here is a polyphemus moth. This is the largest moth we have around here. Where to go? Wow. I hear it flopping around in the grass. I'm just going to leave it for now and see if it comes back to the sheet. Hopefully you got a peek at it, at least. Yeah, come back, fella. Oh, he did. Whoa. Is he on me? I'm afraid to move. Here he is. Oh, he's here in the birch tree right now, in this birch. Come on out. Sure where it is, I hear it. Oh, it's on the sheet. Darn. There it is. I'm just going to see if it'll get on my hand. Wow. He's on the screen of the iPad. Now he's on the cord. Isn't that a beauty? Polyphemus moth. And I think it's a male with feathery antenna. Hello, John. This is a Polyphemus moth, just for you. Look at that beautiful yellow oval right in the middle of the hind wing. So I think in wingspan, this is the largest moth we have here in New Brunswick anyway. Whoop. Does anybody have a book there? Maybe they could check on the internet. I just want to make sure this is a Polyphemus moth and not a Cecropia moth. Chloe, can you find should be at the beginning of near the beginning of your book. It's in the silkworm moth family. Oh. I just want to make sure it is a Polyphemus. One thing I'm noticing on it are those sort of pinkish stripes on the wings, and for some reason I don't remember seeing those before. JB's looking it up. Good. Super. Let me know when you... Meanwhile, just give me a second here. I've got a moth under my t-shirt. I've got to let it out somehow. All right. I'll just move over here and take another look at it. The pinkish stripe near the top of the forewing. Pinkish, kind of a pinkish band that goes across in reddish. And then there's a pinkish band out near the wingtips too, underneath the dark band that goes right across the wings. I just don't remember those on Polyphemus, but I'm not sure. Chloe, you think Cecropia? Okay, well that's certainly very possible. That's probably why those reddish bands are there. Cecropia moth. Well, it's still huge. May not be the largest in New Brunswick. Cecropia moth. So this one is closely related to the Columbia silk moth that we have seen once or twice recently. Those eye spots in the middle of the wing, right in the center of the eye spots, I believe is translucent. It's kind of like a piece of wax paper. Whoop, there's a big moth flying around the iPad. Just hit my face. Ooh. It's one of those big poplar sphinx. And on this side, actually it looks like there's scales in the middle of the eye spot. I wonder if I can put my finger under there. See if we can see my finger through the eye spot. Not sure. Anyway, it's a beauty. And right above it, well, there's a common gluphisia and our twin-spotted sphinx moth. You can see how much larger the Cecropia is compared to the twin-spotted sphinx. Wonder if he wants to show us his hind wings. No. Almost. No, not right now. Arched hook tip. You see a full-shouldered dart up here. Ooh, here's a nice one. There you go. It's a study in black and white, this one. I think this is a black zigzag. It's just a dark example. They're usually not quite as dark in the middle of the wing as this one is. Black zigzag. We saw that a couple of nights ago, but a much paler example. Here's our mayfly again. There's a pug moth. One of the pug moths. I hear a large moth behind me. Oh, just bounced off my stomach. The Cecropia is still right here. Show us Or on your wing. I see John just commented that it will soon be mayfly time on the Mississippi. I expect you get clouds and clouds and clouds of them covering everything, all the buildings at night. Sometimes I've seen there's so many of them at night that they make the roads greasy. I've heard of them having to shut, so attracted to the lights. Here's so that's a dagger that I think is cottonwood dagger. This is I think this is common hypa, Hyppa. It's another one we have seen before, quite a while ago. Piled at the gas stations. Common hypa is getting ready to fly. There's a hooded owlet, probably the same one here. With the northern fin prominent below it. So again, intermediate hooded owlet. And who's down here? Another sphinx. Oh, this is another twin spotted. So we have two twin spotted sphinx tonight. This one and this one. Maybe this one wants to show us the two spots on his hind wing. Not really keen. No. Interesting looking micro moth down there. I don't know what species it is. Click beetle. You see a few of these every night. So far, they've all been pretty plainly marked, but they can have some very nice markings on their wings, on their elytra, and also on their thorax. All the ones we've seen have been dark brown, black, reddish brown. Beetle season is just sort of warming up here. So there'll be lots of neat looking beetles during the summer. Putnam's looper again. There's SVSC nigrum. Aquatic beetle. There are hundreds of species of aquatic beetles. This one has nice ridges on the elytra. There's the eye-spotted bud moth. Intermediate hooded owlet. Again, you can really see the hood nicely on this one. That's where they get their name of hooded. Hooded owlet. Sorry about the focus. This one is a sweet fern geometer. We've seen this one before. Sweet fern. Sweet fern is a plant. It's not actually a fern. The leaves sort of resemble fern, which is where it got its name, and it has a wonderful odor. It's a low shrub that grows along roadsides and in clearings in the forest. Makes a wonderful tea. We always have some dried sweet fern leaves in the house. Sweet fern geometer, geo, like geo, G-E-O, geometer. That's it, Alyssa? Perfect. So here's a crane fly. If you look where the wings join the body, and then go down a little bit, and you'll see these little dots out on the end of a fine string, sort of. Those things, I think they're called calipers, and you'll find them on all true flies. And they're there as sort of a counterweight to the front wings, because true flies, that's in the order Diptera, which means two wings. True flies only have two wings. Most flying insects have four wings, but Diptera only have two, and to compensate, they have these calipers. You see them here again. They're kind of like the remains of their hind wings have evolved into just these little small weights out on the end of the string. I didn't notice it, but I have a big moth on my hand. I can't show you, but it's not on my hand. It's actually on the wire that runs from my power bank to the iPad. It is, I think it's a Cecropia. Must have made its way here, yeah. If I can get it onto my hand, I'll show you. There he is. feet. Who's this? Oh, this is our Putnam's looper. This top this moth in the center here is a codling moth, C-O-D-L-I-N-G. We had seen some last night. It's an introduced species from Europe, and I don't remember what they feed on. Maybe it's apple, I'm not sure. I know it's sort of considered a pest species. Cecropia is still on my arm here. I gotta remember he's there. Is the song sparrow just sang? Is there a silver-spotted fern moth? Again? The small one here is little cloud. Very worn flame-shouldered dart. That's a carpet moth in the genus Hydriomena. They're difficult to identify the species. An arched hook tip. Just make another sweep across the sheet here. This is a caddisfly. Kind of a neat pattern on this one. I think I mentioned last night that almost all caddisflies have very long antennae compared to moths, which is what they're most often confused with. Here's two species of Gluphisia side by side. Not that one. So the four-spotted Gluphisia on the left and the common Gluphisia on the right. And our black zigzag is still here. There's I think that's an Asian lady beetle. One of the commonest insects we find in the house. I don't know how they get in, but they sure do. Yeah, lots of them. Sometimes we find little groups of them in the wintertime that are hibernating. Arched hook tip once again. Check, oh, here's our big poplar sphinx. It's our largest sphinx moth. Big poplar sphinx. Sometimes they're called modest sphinx also. I think for a long time they were called big poplar, and I think recently they've kind of changed the common name to modest sphinx. Perhaps because they found out that they were feeding on lots of trees besides poplar. I don't think there's any surprises on the underwing of these. Oh, there was some pink there. Just dropped down into the grass. See some of the pink here. Nice orange antenna. Feathery. Is our black zigzag rotated or a different individual? I think it's a different one. This one isn't as black as the other one. It's a more typical color. Yes, Alyssa, it's a male for sure. Those big feathery antennae. All right, one more pass back across the sheet. Twin spotted down there, and our twin spotted is still here. Cottonwood dagger, still where it was. Northern fin prominent, the same place. The top one is that midget. I think it's the same midget we saw earlier. I'm not sure which species this is. I'll have to look it up. Could be the variegated. Just throw that out as a possibility. Variegated midget moth. It's a flame-shouldered dart. And a large maple leaf roller. Here's a brother moth, first one we've seen tonight. powdered bigwing. Yellow-collared scape moth. They never stay around very long. It's like the third night we've seen one, and it's just been for a few seconds. I'm just looking around the sheet to see if it's sitting somewhere, but I think it flew away. Ooh. There was a habrocene that came in. I'm not sure if it's the glorious habrocene that we saw before or the lettered. But it flew right off. There's a nice crane fly flying around here with a beautiful pattern in its wings. Oh, here's a new group of moths for us, a plume. These are called plume moths. And what they do is that they roll their wings up when they land. So their wings are actually quite a bit larger than what you see, but they're kind of rolled into a tube shape. And their hind wing is just a little vestige of a wing. Almost hard to see. In the lower right is the intermediate carpet moth. I mean the sharp-angled carpet moth. And a pug. And some species of plume moth. We have about 30 species of plume moths in New Brunswick, and they're kind of difficult to identify because they don't show you much of their wings. When they're perched, the wings are kind of rolled up. But yeah, pushed out of the way. This could be the yellow-collared scape moth. Sitting down up here, it is. You can see why it's called yellow-collared. Whoop. The soldier beetle told them to move on. Alyssa, I'm sorry if I haven't been paying attention to what you're typing a lot of the time. Sometimes the messages appear on my screen and sometimes they don't. I have to keep remembering to look. So I'm sorry if I left you stranded on some of those names. But from what I could see, you're doing a terrific job. Thanks. Thanks for offering to do this. I see yellow-collared. It's a yellow-collared scape. S-C-A-P-E, scape. Yellow-collared scape moth. Here's a Nigrophorus beetle, one of the sexton beetles. See if he has any passengers on board. Oh yeah, he's got a mite on his back there running around. The mites on this species of beetle are called phoretic mites. And I did a bit of reading about what phoretic meant, and it just means any organism that uses another organism simply for transportation. So I guess these mites just use the beetle for transportation to a new location. Because I don't think sorry, disconnected again. I think we're back. Anyway, I was saying the mites that are found on this beetle, there's two of them there. I'm on either side of the neck, I see, running around. They're called phoretic. And phoretic just means it's a term used for a relationship between organisms where one uses the other one just for transportation. May beetle and a little cloud. Ooh, what is this? This is a sawfly of some kind. They're related to wasps. This one's it's greenish. The body is greenish. It's a big, big group. And lots of species that have never been described. A cute little moth there. Let's change the angle. There's a leafhopper. Codling moth. I lost the sawfly somehow. There he is. Okay, we're running a little over time here. I'm trying to keep this to an hour. Oh, gotta look at this one. It's another, oh, he's gone. It's another new group of moths called the clear wing moths. Here it is. Hopefully it'll stay put. I can't, there it is. They actually have translucent wings with some dark marks. Kind of a fuzzy reddish area at the tip of the abdomen. So it's sorry, it's in a kind of an awkward spot for me. I'm having to stare right at the light bulb. Okay, let's hang on. It's a clear wing moth anyway, and there's about 25 species of clear wing moths in New Brunswick. And I don't see it now. It changed location half a dozen times. And not sure where it is now. I just saw another neat moth. All right, I guess nothing else wants to settle down to let us take a look. So I'll call it night. We've been streaming 66 minutes, 25 seconds. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for trying to keep up with me. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Chloe. I know you're there. JB. And anyone else who's there, thanks for watching. Appreciate it very much. If you haven't already hit the like button, I'd appreciate if you would leave. And it looks like we're going to have rain tomorrow evening and Sunday evening, so we probably won't do another moth stream until next week. Monday looks good right now. So thanks again. Have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.